I love strategy games. The satisfaction of building an army from nothing, gathering every last resource available in the map, predicting my enemy's next move, and getting mad at the fact that the CPU effortlessly controls 10 units at once while I can barely manage one. Two games made me fall in love with this genre: Age of Empires and the one we're playing today. A clash between humans and orcs, a battle for control over a world called Azeroth, and the only time this legendary war ever came to consoles. So sit tight, because today we're playing Warcraft II, the Dark Saga. I remember loving this game because back then we only had one PC, and my brothers were always playing Age of Empires 2, so I had to sit and wait for my turn.
What the dog doing? What the f?
But when I inserted this disc for the first time on my PS1, I was the happiest kid on the block. My brothers couldn't figure out why I wasn't waiting for the computer anymore. I've always loved medieval fantasy, and I'll admit, aside from this Warcraft game, my contact with the series is basically zero. I know what World of Warcraft is, of course. I can probably say I never played it, but the rest of the saga, no clue. So I'm excited to dive into this Warcraft and down the road see how the franchise evolves. Developed by the well-known Blizzard Entertainment in 1995, then ported to consoles like the PlayStation and Sega Saturn in the 97. A game that is inconceivable to think that is playable on controller just based on the gameplay, and Blizzard realized this afterwards because this franchise never made it to consoles with the following releases. I mean, the game was a hit, they sold 500,000 copies in just the first 3 months of release, so expanding Warcraft to other demographic of players was not a crazy idea. The medieval song playing in the background teleports you to a fantasy world you've never been, but hell if I wouldn't want to form part of a world of the likes of Skyrim. The game features 4 campaigns, really long ones mind you, telling the stories of 2 different wars between humans and orcs. You can start with either side. I'm not familiar with the chronological order of them, I'm just an enjoyer. I feel like any normal player, or at least my logic wants to play as the orcs. If I am not mistaken, they are the same campaigns, but human or orc is what the difference here. We already play many games as humans. Why not see the other side that sees humans as the monsters? In the opening scenes of the first campaign, we see the orcs riding boats and zeppelins to take the war straight to the humans. If this is your first contact with a Warcraft game, you will probably think, based on those cutscenes, that the gameplay must look awesome. But quite the contrast once you actually get into it. Still, it has its own charm. Graphics don't matter much when the gameplay is this enjoyable and the mechanics this solid. At the start of every act in the campaign, you will get a map view showing where the next battle will take place. The first stage, Suldare. And since you, yes you, are the commander of the army, a very story-like briefing will lay out your mission details, what to expect from the enemy, your objectives, and even a password. Now, you might ask, Universalis? What's that password for? And I will say, you must be very young if you're asking that. See, back in the day, saving wasn't as simple as pressing save game. Developers used to give you passwords so you could jump back to your latest stage whenever you wanted. Simpler times. And here we are. Here's where the magic occurs. We're left with a cursor to order these individuals to do our work with the hopes of snatching the victory at the end of the day. We got pawns. Your trusty, reliable handyman. They are not the fiercest fighters, but they'll turn your little tent camp into a thriving metropolis. They gather materials, build structures, absolutely essential. Then, you got the grunts, the backbone of your army, your go-to defense, and the ones you'll rely on when things get rough. Your primary buildings include the main hall, where you can produce more pawns and access upgrades for your colony. Farms, which feed your troops. Each one supports up to 4 units. No farms, no army. Simple as that. Barracks, where your line of defense is born. From here, it's all up to you. Build the biggest town in the land, create a massive army, hunt down the humans, have fun however you want, as long as you complete your objectives. The first missions are simple. Build 4 farms and set up some barracks. Easy stuff. So I took my time exploring the whole map and wiping out any humans wandering in the woods. As the campaign goes on, missions get tougher and more varied. From building specific structures to rescue or escort missions, or just straight up obliterating the human race. The camera stays locked in an isometric view, forcing you to scroll around the map to manage your tasks. And the fog of war is very real. You'll need to explore to reveal the map, and if you want to keep an eye on clear areas, you better leave a troop or building behind. Is the gameplay repetitive? Guilty as charged. You really have to enjoy this genre to appreciate the charm. Even though the mission objectives change, at its core, the loop remains the same. Gather resources, create units, gather more resources, get better units, and attack. The combat in this game is kind of a 50-50. Great, but not so great. At first, it feels strange because you're not directly taking part in it, you're not swinging any sword or casting spells yourself. Instead, you're the one giving the orders, setting up formations and preparing your troops to fight for you. But when your plan actually works, you feel like a mastermind. All that's left is to sit back and cheer for your team like it's Sunday Night Football. Now, personally, in these type of games, whenever I set my units to their death, that made me feel a little bad. I don't understand why. This is a game. As you progress through the campaign, upgrades start to trickle in. Suddenly, you got axe throwing orcs, your pawns are gathering resources faster, and you can even start building a naval fleet by constructing a shipyard. There are 3 main water units: the Destroyer, which handles sea battles with its cannons, the Transporter, which can carry up to 6 units across the map, and the Oil Tanker, your gatherer for the 3rd vital resource. You got gold, lumber, and finally oil. Just like real life, an essential fuel for expansion and watering the sea. And just when you think you got everything figured out, your build order, your resource flow, your battle strategy, the AI starts to adapt. In the later campaigns, they stop waiting until the endgame, where you are inevitably more efficient overall and start hitting you early, going after your pawns while you're still building up. It's incredibly annoying and discouraging. Imagine spending 40 minutes setting up what feels like a guaranteed win, only to realize half your production line just got wiped out. It's really a hit on the gut and a solid reason to exit the game. Been there, done that. And depending how deep you are into the story, some missions turn into straight up endurance battles. Resources get scarce, and that early game scramble to gather and upgrade quickly becomes a late game panic when you realize you don't have much left. That final attack has to be the attack, the one that ends the mission for good. You don't want retaliation at all, you're looking for closure. You're zealous. Does the human gameplay change a lot? Not really, it's pretty much the same overall. Sure, some units look different. Humans get paladins, orcs get ogres, humans have mages, orcs have undead mages. But most of it is just direct counterparts. What really changes is the visual style of the buildings and troops. On top of that, when you play the same campaign from a different faction, you'll notice that some missions take place on different locations, but since each side has the same number of levels, the objectives themselves are basically identical. So yeah, there's definitely a case for playing all 4 campaigns. It just becomes a matter of dedicating the time, because you can easily sink 30 hours or more into this if you don't get stuck. Totally worth it if you got the time. I have to work. I'll get them eventually. I think we pretty much covered the essentials of this game. I came into this video wanting to return to the land of Warcraft one more time, but I ended up doing a simpler breakdown so I could play through these campaigns at my own pace. And honestly, playing this on console instead of PC adds extra time to everything. So if you're thinking of trying it out, do yourself a favor and stay away from the console versions. The final stage of the Horde campaign takes you straight into the capitals of Lord Dairon, where you launch a full-scale war against the humans. The mission objective: absolutely wipe them out, no question about the methods, just results. The humans' last mission mirrors that: eliminate the orcs and destroy the Great Portal. So the true ending of what happens in the land of Warcraft really depends on you, and whose cause you choose to fight for. It's a nostalgic masterpiece, and the PC version even has a multiplayer, which gives you all the more reason to revisit it. For now, that's everything we'll be talking about in Warcraft II: The Dark Saga. If you liked the video, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. It helps me out a lot and might help others find the video too. Reminder that you can follow me on my other socials, where you can tell me what's your favorite strategy game. If you don't want to miss the full walkthrough, make sure to join the live streams I play a couple times a week. Thank you for watching the video until this part. My name is Yourselves, and with nothing else to say, good night.